From time to time, the Lord manifests himself in the heart of the Bhakta. Through the saints, he shows us what it is to be immersed into the love of God and to have a relationship with him. 7 centuries ago, in the days when Maharashtra was flooded with countless saints and devotees, whose religious songs still echo in that blessed land, a fervent devotee of Vittala was born in a potter's family in Theradoki in 1267. His name was Gora Kumba, and he had a wife, Tulasibai, and they had a little baby boy. People considered them to be untouchables, and no one really noticed them. But whether eating, working, resting, he was always chanting the name of Vittala. In order to prepare the clay, he would daily stamp on it with his feet, and he enjoyed the mixing of clay under his feet to the rhythm of him chanting to his beloved Lord Vittala.
Prabhu Panduranga Vittala, Prabhu Panduranga Vittala, Prabhu Panduranga Vittala, Venuganalola, Prabhu Panduranga Vittala, Venuganalola, Jaya Shila Gopala, Bhaktaloka Pala, Prabhu Panduranga Vittala. He Murari, he Govinda, Ninna Dhyana Brahmananda. He Murari, he Govinda, Ninna Dhyana Brahmananda.
Maliseya Gopi Kanda, Namo He Mukunda, Namo He Mukunda.
Prabhu Panduranga Vittala, Venuganalola, Jaya Shiva He Gopala, Bhaktaloka Pala, Prabhu Panduranga Vittala. He Abhanga, he Nilanga, Mahutunga Lakshmi Sangam. He Abhanga, he Nilanga, Mahutunga Lakshmi Sangam.
Sarvata Sangaranga, Mahapapavanga,
Mahapapavanga, Prabhu Panduranga Vittala, Venuganalola, Jaya Shiva He Gopala, Bhaktaloka Pala, Prabhu Panduranga Vittala. Ekatanda hige ninnu ittigaya mele ninde, Ekatanda hige ninnu ittigaya mele ninde.
Sadasanda Hridaya Dadi, Vittala, Vittala, Vittala.
Vittala, 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 Vittala,
May I always hold your form in my consciousness and your name upon my lips. My body is the slave to the senses, but may I work with joy with your form forever on my mind. Gora didn't love God because he wanted anything from him. He just loved him. There was no selfish motive, no expectation, just pure, unadulterated love. Whatever he did was for the happiness of Vittala. That was the source of his very happiness.
At this time, many saints enjoyed singing the praises of Vittala together. Two saints in particular were Namdev and Saint Gyaneshwara, and people in their masses would come to listen to their kirtan.
Has anyone seen Vittala of Pandharpur? Namdev cried. How is he standing on the brick, placing his hands on his waist, standing on the banks of Chandrabhaga? He has applied the tilak of sandalwood paste. Garlands of Vaijayanti adorn his neck. A string of pearls lies next to his hair.
तिला त्याने लाविला चंदनाच्या तिला त्याने लाविला उभा कसा राहिला विटेवरी उभा कसा राहिला विटेवरी उभा कसा राहिला अंजन तुरा त्याने कोविला मोती अंजन तुरा त्याने कोविला उभा कसा राहिला विटेवरी उभा कसा राहिला विटेवरी उभा कसा राहिला
Whatever form appears because of him. In the current of the river, or in the waves of the sea, there is nothing but water. Similarly, in this universe, there is nothing which exists or is brought into existence other than the self. Gyaneshwar says.
Kumba had recognized Sankhyaneshwara to be his Satguru, the one who would lead him to the Eternal One. It is only through the grace of the Guru one receives the grace of Bhakti. There is no other way but through the grace of the Guru. Vittala,
Vittala, Vittala, Vittala, Vittala, Vittala, Vittala, Vittala, Vittala, Vittala.
Gora Kumba rejoiced in the presence of his Guru and the saints. He was absorbed into the Leela of Bhagavan. There was not a moment in time where his mind was not absorbed in Vittala. For Gora, who had reached the peak of spirituality, conquering all his weaknesses, his pride was dissolved into the abyss of divine love. The gateway of devotion was wide open for him to enter and to never return to the world. He was ready to receive the grace of God. It so happened that one day his wife, busy with her chores, requested for her husband to look after their baby boy whilst she went to fetch more water. But little did she know what the Lord had planned for them both.
I have offered all my body consciousness at your lotus feet. My soul flies to the heavens, leaving behind everything. Gora chants your name day and night.
Vittala, Vittala, Jaya Hari Vittala, 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 Jaya Hari Vittala,
Vitala, 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 Vitala.
Due to raising his hand out of anger, from disturbing his bhav, Tulsibai swore to Gora, in the name of Vittala, from that moment he should never touch her again. Gora accepted this as the Lord's will. He also decided that due to the incident of crushing his son, he would never touch pottery again.
But despite the tragic loss of their son, his faith in the Lord was so strong that nothing was able to turn him away from his Lord. It was just Vittala and nothing else. No matter what was happening around him, it was just Vittala and nothing else. Good and bad, it was just Vittala and nothing else.
O Lord Panduranga, your name is destroyer of all worries. By destroying the heaps of sins, your name clears the path for the traveler. I can see you everywhere. even without form and name, you are limitless.
Life was hard for Tulsibai. She had lost her son tragically and regretted telling her husband not to touch her again. But it was too late. Gora would not go back on his word to Vittala. Another son would give them hope, but how would that be possible with a man who refused to touch her? When the Atma is identified to the body, it gets deluded and one suffers. But when the Atma is identified to the higher consciousness, one attains the feet of the Lord and remains fully satisfied and peaceful in loving just Him.
Vittala, you are my mother. You are the Father. You are everything to me.
One cannot enter into the field of bhakti without a proper qualification. Gora was qualified. He attained the state of bliss and went beyond the duality of the world. He was free. This deepness can only be understood by a few. He was the carrier of this supreme love of God, for he was attached to God and nothing else. Tulsibai felt that the only way out of a desperate situation was for her younger sister to marry Gora Kumba. That way her sister would be able to bear a child with him with the hope of having a son to carry on the family. The marriage took place. He accepted the younger sister, but he knew he would treat both the same as was instructed by his father-in-law, and so knowing he would not break his vow to Vittala, he accepted the marriage. So in the end, Gorakumbhar did not touch either of them, and so the second wife was not able to have a son either. Tulsibai thought of a way to break the oath of their husband so that he could recontinue a normal householder's life. So whilst he slept in his room dreaming of Vittala, they placed Gora's hands onto their bodies for it to appear to him like he touched them. But little did they know that this action would not go according to how they wished.
Gora was disgusted with himself, seeing that his hands were on their body. He longed to have no other attachment other than to Vittala. The intensity of this love was so strong that he wanted to remove any obstacle that could be in his way. Saying this, Gora took an axe and cut his hands off. Gora had no selfish expectation. He cared not for his own liberation. He wanted to love God for His sake. The intensity of his love was so strong that nothing mattered but Vittala. Gora's happiness was only dependent on the Lord's happiness. If Vittala was happy, Gora was happy.
Without Gora to sustain the family, the pottery business declined, and they became increasingly more poor. On top of that, people ridiculed him, saying he was insane due to his love for God.
Vithoba is our mother and father. He is the well-wisher, and he knows what is good and bad for us. Please, just wait and chant the name of Panduringa and watch how he will carry everyone with his love. Through good times and the bad, he is there for us. This is my word.
Those who are saturated with this knowledge of the scriptures would never understand this kind of love. They're simply not qualified. Gora had dived into the internal worship of the Lord within his very own heart. His mind was fully saturated with this love. For those who dwell in the mind, they would never understand this bhakti. He had become crazy for God. He was seated constantly in that love and absorbed into the bliss of the soul, having the divine vision of the Lord, his Vittala, within his very own heart.
Gora had this faith, devotion, tolerance, patience, perseverance, forgiveness, serenity, calmness, and cheerfulness. He remained in balance in both pleasure and pain. But above all, he had the virtue of humility. After 5 years of struggling, Rukmini and Vittala decided to come in disguise as laborers, insisting to help Gora and his wives, even though he never once asked for help. Gora and his wives were not aware that it was the Divine Mother and Father who had come to help them. But nonetheless, these were desperate times, and so they accepted all the help they can get.
Savalya Vithala Tujhe Bala Savalya Vithala tujhe re bala re rahe ladale re rahe ladale Savalya Vithala tujhe re bala re rahe ladale re rahe ladale Pandhari jana tha Savalya Vithala tujhe re bala
तुझाशी मी तुझी झाले भासे भजन कीर्तनी चरणी तुझा रात दिवसात रे रात दिवसात सुंदरीच्या नाता तुझ्या नामध्ये प्यार है रागणे प्यार है रागणे सावल्या विठ्ठला तुझे देवना प्रेम है रागणे प्रेम है रागणे वेड हे
For 1 whole year, Rukmini and Panduranga served Gora, without Gora and his wives noticing who they really were. Namdev, knowing that the Lord was still serving Gora and his family, wanted the merciful couple to return back to Pandharpur. He asked Gora to come with him to have the darshan of Vittala. Gora readily agreed, asking the disguised Rukmini and Panduranga to stay and look after their home. But how could the Lord stay where his bhakta was no longer present? And so as Gora had left, Rukmini and Vittala left the abode of Gora to return back to Pandharpur. Namdev had reached Pandharpur with Gora and the congregation. The kirtan was at an all-time high. Namdev and the congregation prayed for Gora and his family. But for Gora, he didn't want anything from God. He just loved him. There was no selfish motive. It had been 6 long years in total since the tragic incident of their child being crushed in the clay. And little did Gora and his wives know of what miracle was about to happen to them in the land of Vittala. 6 years had gone by since Tulsi Bai lost her baby. It was then that Tulsi Bai, seeing this miracle, asked the Lord that as He has shown mercy to Gora, to please have mercy on her and give their child back. Come, O Vittala, for the love of your devotees, come. Panduranga, Bhakta Vatsala, the one who cares and has mercy. Come to your devotees, come and save us.
Panduranga, 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 Bhakta Jana Panduranga, 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 Karuna Kalole, Karuna Kalole, Panduranga, Panduranga, Bhakta Jana Panduranga, 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 Mahayoga Pite Tate Bimaraja Paramahamsa Datu Panduranga, 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 Jaya Jaya Tu Pandari, Jaya Jaya Tu Pandari, Jaya 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 Tu Pandari, Jaya Jaya Tu Pandari. Oh hoya hoya tu barakari, hoya hoya tu barak. Oh hoya hoya tu barakari, hoya hoya tu barakari. Oh Jaya Jaya tu Pandari, ha Jaya Jaya tu Pandari. Oh Sadoniya Bhagavanta, Sadoniya Bhagavanta. Haya HC Vaikuntha, Haya HC Vaikuntha, Haya HC Vaikuntha, Vaikuntha. Oh Jaya Jaya Tu Pandari, oh Jaya Jaya Tu Pandari, Jaya 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 Tu Pandari, Jaya Jaya Tu Pandari. Hoya hoya tu barakari, oh hoya hoya tu barakari, hoya hoya tu barakari, oh hoya hoya tu barakari. Oh Jaya Jaya tu Pandari, oh Jaya Jaya tu Pandari, oh Jaya Jaya tu Pandari, Jaya Jaya tu Pandari, Jaya Jaya tu Pandari. पंडरीनाथ महाराज की, समस्त भक्त मंडली की, प्रेम से बोलो सद्गुरुदेव श्री स्वामी विश्वानंद महाप्रभु की।
Jai Gurudev, everybody. That was amazing. After the Narada Bhakti Sutra, when Sri Narad ji talked continuously about the glory of the devotee, and we can see, like Bhagavan said, I don't live in the temple. I don't live with the yogis. But where my devotee is, I am present. And it's beautiful. In the short time, Pavani and all of you have made it this wonderful. I remember a few weeks ago, Pavani told me, what should we play? No? 3 weeks ago? Yeah, in Kenya. That's like 2 weeks ago, no? And in 2 weeks, to make this happen, it's really amazing. And really blessed is all of you devotee, really. Like Gora Kumba and all the great saints, they have lived and feel the presence of Sri Hari. You can see how Bhagwan yearn also for that. He long to have that relationship. And those who have that relationship, sometimes the test that he will put somebody is extreme. But those who persevere, they are the only one which really have rendered themselves perfect to have his darshan, to have his grace. People talk about grace, many talk about grace, but to attain to that grace is not an easy thing. It is a whole life journey. A whole life journey of longing for him. In whatever you are doing, like Narada said at the end of his sutra, Don't stop what you are doing. This is an example. Gora Kumba is an example of not letting go of his duty. He continuously carried on doing his duty, but that love and devotion, his mind, where his mind was attached, that was the most beautiful. And I see my devotee, how much love they have put into that, That is the most beautiful thing. So. Sanilnath Maharaj ki, Samasta Bhaktal Mandali ki.
Principal Sacrifice,